Hello everyone. Today is a continuation of Ephesians 4:26. Be angry and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger. It's a continuation on a series about debating. In the first one, and this is the second one, we talked about how there are sometimes the Lord will want you to get mad, to get angry, to raise your voice for certain situations, especially when dealing with falsehoods. You have to reveal the truth in the falsehoods, and sometimes the Lord will rile you up in that, and it's okay. But don't sin while you get angry, and don't let your anger rest overnight. So the second part, though, it's okay to get angry, but you need to have studied to be able to do this effectively. Study. As 2 Timothy 2:15 says, do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who has no need to be ashamed, rightly handling the word of truth. You don't ever want to be ashamed or wrong when you are in these debates. You need to have studied. Now, I said yesterday that I was going to tell you an event that happened to me. So here it is. Matter of fact, it was yesterday. And yesterday we were in the office and someone mentioned the pyramids. And they said no one knows how the pyramids were actually constructed. And a gentleman stood up and said, I know how they were constructed. And then I correct him, like, no one actually knows how they're constructed. Scientists have been trying to figure that out for years. No, I know how they were constructed. Like, no one knows how. How were they constructed? I can't remember. I just know how they were constructed. Well, where did you find it? Can you show me the source? No. Well, what? We'll just look it up real quick, man. No one knows how they're constructed. No, I'm not going to look it up. But I did some research. I was like, I've actually done extensive research on it. I've actually made a video on it, and scientists have not found it constructed. He's like, no, I'm not going to look it up. I'm like, well, it's what you're saying. If you can't back it up, what are we doing? So we got to this discussion, and it ended up turning, because one of the reasons why, they know where I stand on things. There are certain things that mankind does not know how it happened. The unknown scares a lot of people. So if they read a headline that says how the pyramids constructed, they won't even read even deeper. So we got into it, and we kept going back and forth. I was like, look, I made an actual video. Oh, what? You think I'm going to believe your video because you made a video? Oh, let me believe Colley's video. Let me believe his video. I'm like, actually, my video is done on research from the internet. Oh, everything can be falsified from the internet. I'm like, yeah, but the internet also has good research. If you say it's not, just show me. So we got into this discussion, and I was like, well, show me. He's like, I'm not going to show you. I'm like, you know why? Because you're wrong. Because you're wrong. And he's like, now let me show you from TED Talks. Because TED Talks is considered a reliable source. Let me show you. So I showed him a video on TED Talks. If you want to know what video I showed him, look at my verse of the day, number 34. And it talks about the megalithic structures. So he watches the video, and you can see his countenance drop. His pride started to drop, which is a good thing. And at the end, I was like, you see these huge stones in Peru? No one knows how they're made. In the video of TED Talks, they rock the stones, but no one knows how these were actually made. And I was like, you want to know how the pyramid stones were made? He's like, how? They say that it was used by water and sand, which doesn't make sense because it's 200 kilometers away. He's like, oh. See, I could have just let it go. His word versus my word. But there are certain things that are pivotal for breaking a man's mind free for accepting the gospel. There is a reason these megalithic structures are so profound to knowing about all creation. The Lord foretold about why these structures could exist in a time previous before the flood. And they know that I've mentioned that to them before. So they just want to say the title of something they've read without looking into it. You could not have moved no pyramid stones for 200 kilometers with water and sand. And many scientists know this. But I would not have that confidence if I had not studied to show myself approved. As Philippians 1:20 says, as it is my eager expectation and hope that I will not be at all ashamed, but that with full courage, now as always, Christ will be honored in my body, whether by life or by death. Is my eager expectation and hope that I will not be at all ashamed. Now, the thing about it is, don't be afraid to look deeper into things. As a Christian, you don't have to just go and research all Christian theology and Christian outlooks on the topics. You do that, but guess what? The scientists, they make themselves look like fools. The scientists make themselves look like fools when they go against God. You may look at a Christian thing that debates evolution, but the good thing about it is that Christian thing that debates evolution tells you where a scientist made the mistake and tells you sources on where they look like they've made themselves look like fools. As Matthew 7:7-8 says, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you shall find. You seek for the information that you need to know about and you'll find it. A good example of this can be found with the fossil Lucy. Now, at first glance, let me pull up a picture of Lucy. At first glance, Lucy is seen to be almost a fact. And Christians could be intimidated by Lucy. Like, oh, yeah, look at Lucy. What does it say on her? It says 40% of her bones were found. She stood 3 feet 6 inches tall. She weighed 65 pounds. Lucy is supposedly the missing link. Supposedly the missing link. But you see that picture of Lucy? Now look at Lucy's actual bones that were found. These are her actual bones. Does that complete that whole picture that they have drawn, that people have made up? No. And if you look up Lucy's bones found how far apart, if you look up how far apart they found Lucy's bones, it says from pbs.org, Lucy's entire skeleton was found about 2.5 kilometers from the site in which the bipedal knee joint was found. So those little bitty bones were all together found about 2.5 kilometers away from each other. Does that look like a legitimate fossil? Watch this clip from pbs.org, and not from a Christian debater.
The ape that stood up, it was a revolutionary idea. We needed Owen Lovejoy's expertise again, because the evidence wasn't quite adding up. The knee looked human, but the shape of her hip didn't. Superficially, her hip resembled a chimpanzee's, which meant that Lucy couldn't possibly have walked like a modern human. But Lovejoy noticed something odd about the way the bones had been fossilized.
When I put the two parts of the pelvis together that we had, this part of the pelvis has pressed so hard and so completely into this one that it caused it to be broken into a series of individual pieces which were then fused together in later fossilization. This has caused the two bones, in fact, to fit together so well that they're in an anatomically impossible position.
The perfect fit was an illusion that made Lucy's hip bone seem to flare out like a chimp's. But all was not lost. Lovejoy decided he could restore the pelvis to its natural shape. He didn't want to tamper with the original, so he made a copy in plaster. He cut the damaged pieces out and put them back together the way they were before Lucy died. It was a tricky job, but after taking the kink out of the pelvis, it all fit together perfectly, like a three-dimensional jigsaw puzzle. As a result, the angle of the hip looks nothing like a chimp's, but a lot like ours.
I think this is so funny. Because what is this, make your own fossil day? You just sand down the bones to fit the way that you think it should fit? Instead of actually just taking the evidence and taking it at face value and using the scientific method to get to your conclusion. No, ladies and gentlemen, Lucy is in fact part of their faith. They must make it work. Instead of just taking what they see from the natural world, they'll take a sander and grind the bone till it fits. If it don't fit, you must acquit. So yeah, Lucy was actually found to be a hoax. It was not a true fossil. It's known to be a hoax. Yet, when you look in the museums, they still have Lucy up. The American Museum of Natural History still has Lucy's thing up, her exhibit up. Why? Why? She was supposed to be the missing link. She was found to be a hoax. Why do you have Lucy's exhibit up? Because it's all just a play on the mind. Evolution is a religion. It is a religion. I will talk about the fraudulence of evolution in a future video. But no, we didn't evolve from rock, lightning, and water. No, we didn't come from a chimpanzee. Okay? Whatever you're dealing with in whatever type of debate, it's okay to look deeper into the things that they say are proof. Because many of them, well, shoot, it's almost all falsehoods if you really look into it. And it is a beautiful thing when you've shaken someone's mind. Because the thing about it is, people that don't want to hear the truth, a lot of times they don't really want to do their research. They look on the surface. Oh, Lucy is the proof. Is he? They just look on the surface. They don't dig deep. But the Lord wants us to dig deep. And don't be afraid. Because when you dig, you will always find that His Word remains true. His Word always remains true. Science proves it. Real science. Science that does not try and change the law of thermodynamics, did not change the conservation in mass. Matter came from God. Energy came from God. It did not explode in a big bang and come from nothing. Study and show yourselves approved. And be willing to give an answer to all those of why you believe. Tomorrow we'll continue with this. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, Lord. And may many be saved. May many minds be cracked open to hear, to seek, to want to know more about creation and everything that is in their world. May we not be afraid. May we get angry when you want us to get angry. In Yeshua's name we pray. Amen. Goodbye.